Well, I
All
mean,
right.
there's ones you can just do it online. I don't really need to
Well, yeah, but
see
this is
reinvent
mine.
the wheel.
Look
Okay.
at the URL.
Yes.
See, it makes me feel special.
He feels special, Mark.
That's that's an echo. I'm getting an echo.
Yeah. Well, are you
Well,
still getting an
that's
echo?
I am not getting an echo.
Oh no, Mark. Do you have a tab open with the YouTube stream?
Maybe.
Because we just
We
went
are live.
live, and I had to
Oh,
go to the tab that was playing it and mute myself.
that was no warning about going live at all.
Yeah, no,
Oh
my
Hello,
well, I
bad
mean,
about
everybody.
that.
wait, no, there's
Welcome.
like totally a thing that was like the spinning, about to go live in less than 2 minutes, and then it stopped doing that.
It did
And
say
then you see all
initializing,
these like,
yeah.
yeah, all these fun
I am
people here
unfamiliar with this
who's
program, but well, maybe we'd like to welcome everybody to the stream if, in
yeah,
fact, we
see,
are live. So,
no,
yeah, it's great to
everybody,
see so many
yeah.
fantastic people in the audience. It is just an amazing audience out there, I gotta say.
Mark, we
Woo!
have we have the same people.
We have, yeah, I mean,
Like I'd be shocked if
yeah.
there was somebody here that Mark doesn't know. But
That's
hey,
true.
everybody, I got one of your favorite streamers here. Mark duped him into a stream about energy not being energy. So this should be
I'm
fun.
sorry.
He's never seen the video.
Okay,
So we all
okay.
get to see his facial expressions together. You're
Yeah.
welcome. It's like Christmas come early.
I'm gonna love to hear his definition of energy, right? Because that's
There's
just
so there's more than one.
Good,
yeah.
good,
Okay.
good luck with that.
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah, good luck with that.
You know
Okay.
what? I've been wanting to come onto this show for ages, to be honest with you, because it's
Aw.
always okay. The best word I can use to describe it is absurd. It's absurd,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I love the absurdity of things. I love this kind of
I'm gonna
you
take
know.
it as a compliment.
Yes.
Please do, absolutely, absolutely do.
100%. I'm gonna go ahead and start the video while I clear off the whiteboard, because let
I've
me
got a
tell you,
cons-
ladies and gentlemen. What we there's a thing that we're doing tonight. I posted a bingo link in the chat. Let me post it again. I
yeah.
think.
Wait,
There
no,
we
it's
go.
I've got a
pinned. You don't
confession.
have to
I've
do
got a
that. It's
Oh,
pinned.
it's
confession.
pinned. It's pinned. Fantastic. You
I,
see?
I think
You
no,
asked me to
I
pin
think
it.
I
I
stole.
forgot.
I definitely stole somebody's bingo card, and I'm currently having a fight with them about a run-on sentence. So, if that is you, I
The,
do
the
apologize.
run-on sentence is in the middle. It's a free space.
Oh,
That's why. It's
then
automatically filled out for everybody. It's in the
I'm
middle.
fighting with the AI. Then why is it like?
It's
Okay,
every 5 seconds. The page reloads every. I can go into the source code if you want me to, but the page reloads every 5 seconds, and it updates the word list at the bottom of the screen with all of the words that have been called, and it also updates and makes sure that that card is marked, because the center square is always free.
I feel
And
like I'm
bingo.
talking to someone. I'm making a big X on it. If you're got this card, then turn off the run-on sentence one.
It's in the middle. You can't do it. You can't turn off the run-on sentence. It's the middle free square. Everybody has it marked.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean,
He made a square that just pisses Mark off.
yeah,
It's
no.
hilarious. I didn't know
Well, I
this was
haven't.
going to be part
It
of
is.
tonight's
I
entertainment, but I'm totally
I
into it.
haven't. I haven't heard a run-on. Look, can someone just please do a run-on sentence
Okay,
so I can
okay,
feel
sure.
Oh
good about
God.
this?
Ha ha ha. Ember. Oh wait, real quick though. Real quick though. I need to talk to my good friend Ember. Look, I don't like all this nonsense about you not streaming on Sundays. Like it's like really fucking with me. Like, it used to be part of my whole like getting ready routine. It's like Ember's on, time to get ready for stream. I'm doing my makeup, I'm listening to Ember, fucking with my friends in the chat. And you just really fucked up my whole life here. I need you to figure out what day Saturday is and run home. Now, Sunday is the Lord's Day, and by the Lord, I do mean me. Um, so you need to stream one day a week for me, the Lord, your Lord. Amen. Okay,
Amen.
back to Ken.
Greetings and salutations on this fine evening. You
Ooh,
mind if I clean my glasses for
salutations.
5 seconds really quick? 4, 3,
I've got
2,
libations.
1. There we go. I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it.
I would like to bring up the fact that he did not edit that out.
He did not.
Does that count as obnoxious voices?
Mine?
Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about bingo. So here's the thing. Unlike every other time I host bingo on other channels and whatnot, when you get a bingo here, you have to clear your entire card and start over, and you're still going to win at least 5 times. Trust me. Trust me. It's not going to be a problem.
Everybody wins bingo here.
Everybody, well, I mean, the psychic damage means that you're... Oh my god. Leo, are you not familiar with Ken Wheeler? You're gonna sustain serious psychic damage. Do you have your bingo card? It's a pinned thing in chat. Get a bingo card. It's gonna be great. Okay, let's get back to Ken Wheeler with his realistic, fireplace next to him.
Quite often get inspired by incredibly stupid videos that are on the tube or other places, and I made note of the fact that I'd not made a video explaining energy, and it is the case that no branch of science has actually ever defined the term energy. You could say, well, you can look up on Wikipedia, so well, energy is the ability to do work. That actually doesn't tell you what energy is. No branch of science ever defined the term energy. They never defined the term field. Intrinsically, they've also too, well, they outright reject the ether, but they've replaced it with something that's completely implausible, inaccurate, and laughable. That is, of course, atomism and relativity.
Okay, so we have our run-on sentence now.
Yes.
We absolutely have the run-on sentence. So stop whining about that and let the middle square be marked, okay? What else do we have? We got ether. We have. Do we have impotency? I can't remember.
It means nothing.
Let me tell you.
That's gonna be every other sentence. Like, we can't keep doing. Look, we've got to talk about what he's talking about. Come on, we're gonna be here for 5 hours.
You chose the video, Maya.
Yeah, I know, but we can't do bingo tracking and.
Oh wait, we won't do it. Okay, I was just giving a little taste at the beginning. I can also. I'm going to put them on 1.25 or 1.5.
Quite a slow speed
for the first hour.
Yeah,
because he talks fast.
He does talk fast, but we're hardcore. He talks.
I love it when people like to use the word quantum too. By the way, there's
not a sequitur to anything he said before.
Nothing in nature that you can point to and say that's quantum right there. There is nothing in nature that you can call quantum, but this video is not about quantum, rather about energy. So people are arguing whether energy is a concept or whether it's a property of something.
Doc, I can never point to a quantum. It's been the bane of my existence.
Right. I've never seen a quantum.
That's all you see. That's how photons work. Okay? Do you know what photons are? They're the things that do the thing with the vision and the thing and the consciousness and something, and then you see stuff, and it's all because of the photon going whackety-whack on your retina.
Yeah, but I've never seen
I can't point to it and say quantum.
I hate you so much. That's all you do with photons. All you do with photons is you see them. What is happening right now? Leo, do you see my problem? Are you understanding how I'm feeling yet?
Number.
Can you show me
you can find a Wikipedia.
I hate you, Mike.
Its ability to do work, which is not descriptive of the term energy. All of these, of course, are completely inaccurate. People too, and by people I mean all of humanity, is completely confused. It's an actual metaphysical axiom that humanity sees everything upside down and backwards. People, of course, are always confusing a principle with attributional self-division.
Attributional self-division?
The humans see everything upside down and backwards. Yeah, that's just the way our eyes work.
And backwards.
But doesn't... You're applying that as an analogy for
which nobody asked for. So
Which
that's not just nobody asked for.
What is happening?
No. Math is hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also gonna
Yeah.
call it.
It's real
I'd like to
hard.
use a really simple rubber band analogy here in a second, but
This is
people
cool.
confuse potential energy with kinetic energy, but the kinetic energy that everybody points to, like mushroom cloud from a fissionable lump of uranium or plutonium, that's not energy, that's the impotency, the complete opposite of energy. The dissipation of energy, we point to, is not energy, but that's what everybody calls energy. That's representational of the energy that exists. And people get confused when they say, like, I'm creating new definitions for stuff like inertia, the original definition for inertia, but that's the original definition of pure non-Cartesian potential. In other words,
I'm sorry, non-Cartesian potential.
I don't remember that being on my science test.
I have no idea what that means. I have no idea. Now it might mean something, because Descartes was a philosopher as well as a mathematician at like a time when, the whole thing was all fumbly wumbly, whatever. And so maybe there is such a thing as Cartesian potential, but probably not. And probably Ken Wheeler is just pulling it out from deep, deep within the depths of his rectum.
Well, I mean, isn't like Cartesian plane system like it's the set of coordinates on a two-dimensional axis kind of thing? I mean, so is he basically talking about? But he didn't say like non-Cartesian, like.
Potential
in 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions.
Potential. It could be it could be a philosophical thing that does have a meaning. It does not have a meaning in any modern physics sense of the word, though.
Where it's inert, kind of like a softball-sized lump of plutonium or uranium.
I wish he was holding a softball-sized lump of plutonium.
Be, in its current state, inert. The same is true of the ether. Potential, of course, creates a lot of different confusions, I'd like to get here too, but that's the original definition of energy, inertia. We use it in actually a different fashion today, connotatively, like forward inertia and inertia relative to kinematic time frames.
What do you think the definition of inertia is?
Inertia is kinetic energy that's yet to be countered by something. So the force that's propelling something is inertia until another force acts upon it, right?
That's not a definition that I've heard. Inertia is one of these, if I'm allowed to say it, and I am, more than anybody else, inertia is a little bit of a weasel word. And what I mean by that is inertia refers to the tendency for things to keep on going as they are, unless something causes it to change. Yes. That's sort of a meta thing as opposed to like a thing. And when it is a thing, it just means mass. Because like inertia...
Is that thing where it's like an object in motion stays in motion?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 100%. That is inertia. Inertia is the tendency for that to be true.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And objects with mass have inertia in that sense. You can also talk about things having inertia in much more figurative senses, though, such as political beliefs in a society. Those are going to have some inertia. It's going to take some time for people to realize, oh, hey, maybe trans rights are human rights.
I don't know. Sometimes you got to kick that ball a few times before it gets down the road.
Exactly. Because you can't just wait for it to solve itself.
Yes, because there's forces countering that inertia like idiots.
Yeah, and there's also forces going in favor of it, like all idiots dying.
Yeah.
But, that takes way too long. Yeah, that actually... So, Leo... I think inertia equals knowingness is...
That is beautiful, yeah.
It's beautiful because it's exactly... It is fundamentally kind of silly and like non-helpful because inertia in and of itself is a concept which is not more helpful than that. I think. Mass is more helpful. And even mass and even energy, these are things which are going to have a little bit of gray area at the edges. That being said, he's wrong. Energy is absolutely a thing. It's the capacity to do work.
But I think when he's sort of saying, hey, these things haven't been defined, I think what he's really saying is these things haven't been defined in a way that I can understand them personally.
100%.
Right? Like, you know, when I sort of gave my description, it's obviously I'm not a physicist, and obviously it was sort of a pretty vague and general description kind of thing. But, you know, if you don't, like, if somebody, you gave a literal description that you would use with another physicist, that wouldn't mean anything to me and I'd be confused. But I'm not stupid enough to go, well, because I don't understand that, you can't define it. You know, it's so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just a sort of argument from ignorance. Like, I don't understand it, so it can't be real.
Exactly.
Perfect one. Light, of course, is the principle, and illumination is its extrinsic attribute. Illumination, of course, is the energy as manifest. That energy, of course, is a division of light. Unless, of course, it is point source light or it is coherent light. That's another matter, but it still is going forth. It's the attributional nature, the extrinsic side of light. Because nobody sees light, for example. They see, of course, illumination. So we have...
I'm sorry, was that coherent illumination? Is he talking about when you say, hey, I've been illuminated, like knowledge? Because coherency is the ability to understand something, right? So if he's talking about coherent illumination...
Well, he could be talking about lasers. Coherence does have a specific meaning in the context of quantum mechanics, and coherent light generally means light similar to that produced by a laser. Like, not by definition, but as a consequence. Like, that is a true statement. But no, I'm not. No, he's wrong. He's wrong, and he's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, because, I don't know. I need to hear the sentence again because, like, I remember thinking, like,
manifest. That energy, of course, is a division of light.
Don't see
unless
light.
Illumination of perfect one. Light, of course, is the principle, and illumination is its extrinsic attribute. Illumination, of course, is the energy as manifest. That energy, of course, is a division of light. Unless, of course, it is point source light or it is coherent light. That's another matter, but it still is going forth. It's the attributional nature, the extrinsic side of light. Because no,
I don't remember coherent light being a science term.
It is. It actually is.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
What is coherent light? Please. I need this.
100%. So, in a laser...
Because, like, we just had, like, light and photons and...
So, a photon
speed of it
is a thing where if you look at its electric field, it's got a wave. It's got an electric field that goes up at one spot and then down at the other spot, and it moves along. Okay? And everything you see is made out of sort of packets of these things. They sort of go like that, and then they sort of even out, and then they're flat. So what you're seeing is this whole thing, and this whole thing here is like, I fucking did that totally wrong. It's like half a micrometer. So it's 0.0000005 meters is how long this whole thing. And when that hits your eye, it causes an electron to do a thing, and that becomes chemistry, and stuff happens, and your brain finds out, and it's great. Wonderful. Coherence is the fact that all of those photons have a particular spot where they've got the electric field pointing this way, and then over here the electric field is pointing this way. And so a coherent source of light is a light where you've got this light bulb over here, right? And everything that it emits is lined up exactly the same way. That makes this thing coherent. Whereas an incoherent source,
okay, gotcha.
You'll have something coming out like that, and then you'll have one coming out like that, and then you'll have one coming out like that, and then you'll have one coming out like that, and you'll have one coming out like that, and they all just kind of blah together.
Sure.
And what that means is that it's like when you have a wave at the beach.
Well, when did that happen, though?
Well, this happens in a laser. In a laser, you'll have an atom will release a photon. Like when one of these passes it, it releases another one exactly lined up with it. It basically copy and pastes and sends another version of it.
Okay.
And then it sets a number inside of itself that makes it go down, so it can't do that again because that would violate law.
You're answering questions I didn't ask.
I'm not though. It's just that
Well, okay.
What I'm reading here, LEDs transmit incoherent light. All of the wavelengths are out.
Thank you, Mark. You were answering a question I asked.
Yeah, because they send them all out they're uncorrelated with each other.
So I have a question for you, Dr. Tapioca Weasel. I have a serious question. Is the cold light emitted by the moon coherent or incoherent?
It's incoherent, and so is your question. It's maddening to me because there are so many different ways in which that question is or the whole idea behind it is just ill-formed, and they're kind of interesting because for one thing, you have the spectrum. Like the relative spectrum of different frequency components in the light that you see from the moon. And that's going to be more or less similar and or identical to what you get if you look at the sun, but way, way, way less intense because it's just reflecting what you get from the sun, mostly.
Yeah. But that's a loaded question, and and Maya heard it. You've just admitted there's cold light from the moon. So that's been absolutely. I'm gonna clip that, put it on all my things. Yeah.
I'm a professional physicist who uses lasers to cool down atoms from hotter than room temperature, 430 Celsius, 420 when I'm feeling memeish. And we bring them down to the last time I measured the temperature of the atoms in our experiment, it was 2.5 microkelvin. So, yeah, we just use lasers for that. It brings a whole new definition to cold light.
Nobody sees light, for example. They see, of course, illumination.
It's literally all people see. All people see is light. That's what.
Wait.
That's what seeing is.
Well, no, we don't see light. We see illumination.
Right. You seem to think illumination is something other than light. That
who knows what the fuck he thinks illumination is?
He doesn't go into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark thought he was going to get something coherent out of Roger. It is so adorable.
So we have.
Okay.
Principle and attribute. We have a polarization of what is inert. What is inert, i.e. inertia, pure potential. Now, in the case of the ether, that is non-Cartesian pure potential. The ether, of course, is not a particle. It is not composed of things, which would be contrary to the very definition of the term inertia, or of the ether, excuse me. And inertia and ether are one and the same thing. There are different means of describing about pure potential, which has no Cartesian value. And that, of course, confuses scientists, which deal in objective reality.
He's not wrong. I'm a scientist, and I'm very, very confused.
About light?
About the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. No, well, he said that this concept of light or energy, whatever the fuck he's talking about, confuses scientists all the time.
They do. They do. Okay, I gotta call inertial fail. I'm gonna call it means nothing. Sorry, I'm just... mocking... No, wait, I already called that, sorry. Gish Gallop, totally calling Gish Gallop. Go on, sorry. I can...
Oh, Brian Stevens, I'm so glad you're here. You're gonna love our episode tonight.
has he self-taught expertise? Denies definitions of well-defined terms. Run-on sentence so epic we ought to diagram it out. We haven't gotten there yet. I'm not going to call this one, but I want Mark and Maya to keep that in the back of their heads. Eventually, we're going to reach Carl Bahian levels of word salad.
You know, I should just like keep this pinned here as like my perpetual like phrase, because I feel like I'm going to be saying it a lot.
Yup. That's what happens when you sign up for an episode with Ken Wheeler.
Yeah.
Have you really not? Were you familiar with Ken Wheeler before tonight, Mark? I can't remember.
No, I've never seen this guy before.
Oh.
You're so welcome.
He seems to be
of course,
the
objective
school of just put scientific terms together and just hope that nobody actually checks what he's saying.
The only person that is on his level of this sort of spiel, the only person that I'm aware of is Whitsitt. Whitsitt might be a little bit better in certain aspects of it, but I mean, he's just raw dogging it that this is plutonium in his hand right there.
Reality is technically.
This is a good question. Do we have a lab coat? Oh my god.
Well, I think
This is my lab coat.
Wait, I thought you didn't have a lab coat.
It's a fake lab coat. I don't have an actual lab coat. I'm a physicist, not a chemist or a biologist or a wet lab person.
Not a real doctor. You heard it here first, folks.
I said I don't have a real lab coat. What I do have, and maybe I should wear this every week. Wait, hold on. Is this an actual? No, there it is.
Is that your national show button? A scientist is always fine?
Yep.
Fine? F-I-N-E? Is that what that says?
Yeah. Are you saying I'm not fine, Maya?
I mean, do I have to say it?
Rough.
We have a real doctor in the house. Has a question.
I swear to God. Okay, for the record, Doc Dino is either a recent graduate from undergrad or he's still in undergrad.
No, he's
not a real doctor.
It has doctor in his title. And I heard from Kent Hovind that counts.
It's not even spelt right.
Well, it is if your language is flexible and or German.
Yeah, that's true.
It does have to be spelled right. I don't remember that being a criteria for being a doctor. Spelling doctor right.
You're not wrong.
Unreal, but that's a matter for discussing holography, the holography of the universe. So, polarization of inertia is energy. This is, of course, potential, this snapback and the dissipation of rest as kinetic energy, like a rubber band. I don't have a rubber band in front of me, but I don't know if you've ever actually pulled a rubber band. Well, everybody has pulled a rubber band back, especially if you like cut it in half and you ever stretch a rubber band across your lip, you actually feel this heat, and as you actually let it contract back to its inertial or its rest point, you actually have a dual entity here. In the case of light and of energy, human beings confuse potential energy and kinetic energy, but kinetic energy is not energy, it's the inverse of energy, i.e. the dissipation of energy. Then you're actually pulling a rubber band apart, you're actually creating a disparity, where of course you have a contractive
is that what he just said?
potential.
It's the anticipation of the dissipation of energy, I think. Is that what he said? I don't know. This, what he's alluding to, though, is actually a really cool experiment.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. Do you have a rubber band?
Probably.
No. I've done a rubber band. I've held it in my hand and it's rubbery. It snaps. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what it's a very specific thing. What you do, you take the rubber band and you hold it not particular in tension, but not particularly tight. And then you press it up against your upper lip or your lower lip, whichever lip.
Why would
Just the reason you're doing that is to sense the temperature of the rubber band. Okay?
Well, I feel this experiment's too complicated for this guy.
It's actually... The experiment is not too complicated for it. The explanation way too complicated for it. It's almost too complicated for me.
Right.
And I have
so
a
we're
PhD
eating
in
rubber
this.
bands.
Oh, right.
So you've got a rubber band, and it's got some temperature, and you feel it against your lip. The reason you're using your lip is because your lip is by far the most sensitive to minute temperature changes of every skin surface
come on,
the
you
body.
just want to kiss a rubber band. Don't lie to me. I know that's really what you're after.
I don't need your judgment, Mark. So you take the rubber band, you feel it, and then you take it, and you stretch it, and you feel it, and it's warmer. It's significantly warmer. The rubber band, when I stretched it, got way warmer. And then...
I've heard the penis is way more sensitive.
I make it smaller.
Yeah, I was wondering if...
I let it contract.
You're at home and you don't have lips available, can you whip your dick out?
I think you should. I think that's scientific.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
I will do it. I will do it. Okay. You will get canceled. It will not be my fault.
Look, I would blame chat. Quite frankly, I blame chat for everything.
Well, I would blame.
Chat is saying do it.
But isn't kinetic
whip it out?
The transfer of potential energy into sort of physical force kind of thing? Isn't that?
I'm just saying. I'm going proper nerd on y'all right now, and I'm not feeling appreciated.
I think it's an amazing thing. I think it's awesome.
You pull the rubber band, it gets hotter. When you let it contract and you do the same thing, it's cold. It just spontaneously gets colder. And the reason it spontaneously gets colder is because the way all of the different lengths in the rubber band can line up, they can either be like small version or stretched out version. And if they're small version, they have like higher entropy or something. And if they're stretched out version, they got lower entropy or something. And entropy and the temperature are linked in a mathematically very simple way, but an intuitively non-obvious one. And so you stretch the rubber band, it gets hot, you let it equilibrate, and then you let it shrink, and it gets cold. This means that if you wanted to make something cold, what you could do is stretch a rubber band, wrap it around something, let it relax, then take it off, and move it back to another thing, and then stretch it again. You can make a refrigerator out of a rubber band. That's kind of...
But you need the energy to stretch it, kind of thing. It wouldn't.
Yeah, you always need the energy to stretch it. That's how refrigerators work. That's not a problem. The problem. I'm not saying that this is a way of magically getting energy. I'm saying that by stretching and releasing and stretching and releasing a rubber band, you can make something colder, and that is not an intuitively obvious thing. Right. I think. Sorry, let me find the stream again. There we go.
Potential that is being built up where it wants to return to its inertial point. This is, by the way, is the original definition of inertia. Pure potential. But of course, measuring potential is not measurable because it has no Cartesian value. Of course, we say X.
I mean, that's just the elasticity of the band drawing the constituent parts back together. That's not really an inertial point. Like, it doesn't say, hey, I want to be a contracted rubber band. That's not inertia acting on it. That's elasticity.
Yes. I don't even know what an inertial point would mean.
Because even if something is at standstill, like we're sitting here and we're at standstill, we're still moving. Like, we're still rotating as the Earth rotates. We're still moving in the galaxy. We're still in motion. Like, so inertia only is applicable to a frame of reference.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like yes, I suppose, but I mean, general relativity provides the framework for describing frames of references, and they do not need to be inertial.
Yeah.
That's like the whole thing about general relativity. And it's one of the 18 billion reasons that I can give for why Einstein was an absolute badass. Just truly an Ubermensch of all time.
But I mean, inertial frames of reference are a thing. So if I'm traveling on a train, everything on that train appears to be motionless for me because that's all within my frame of reference.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no experiment that you could do to determine which one is moving and which one is still. But if you had two train cars that were moving at constant but different speeds, all else being equal, there's
no inertial resting point. There's just frames of reference for inertia is what I'm trying to get across. Like, it doesn't try to seek anything. It's just as you add inertia to something, it will change the movement of that thing, and as you apply forces to it, it will change that. And that isn't inertia.
Well, again, this is where I would say inertia is not a quantity. It is a quality and or tendency. It is inertia is kind of the metaphysical principle that underlies things like, I don't know, the conservation of momentum. And stuff like that. Now, there are other... that is a potentially very controversial statement, because conservation of momentum and how that relates to, for example, conservation of not conservation of matter, how that relates to asymmetry of spatial translations. That's a very deep topic that is elucidated clearly by Noether's theorem. But that's a whole bunch of words that I didn't even know until I was several years into college. So all of this is a lot, I'm a lot more...
Does Wheeler have a degree?
Maybe in photography. He might have a degree in no, that's not what he has. Wheeler has a degree and is a professional and not obviously incompetent ancient text translator. He speaks and reads ancient Greek. Theoria, Apophasis, or whatever his thing is here.
However you pronounce that, sure, yeah.
I have no idea. Okay, I'm not Leo. Do I look like Leo? That is a thing. He is somebody who you could call up and be like, I found this ancient text in this language, and if it was one of a certain subset of languages, you could pay him to translate it, and pretty reliably, as far as I can tell, come out with a decent, good translation.
Wait, something that makes actual sense?
Yes. The guy's not an idiot in that context.
I'm going to call
in that field, sure.
In that context, he is not an idiot. He's like the engineers who think that the electric universe model must be correct because they're electrical engineers and they have one hammer and everything they see is that type of nail.
How many physics does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
8.5. I will not let you bait me like that. I did! I absolutely did. Okay, that was when I was in Florida, and I had a friend that I met at the local tiki bar, and she was like, I have conversations with my friends, and they're like, come on, sit on, the face over here, And she was like, I can't do that. And I'm like, that's because you're not doing it properly, okay? You're trying to do the face sitting. This is how she was trying to do the face.
Okay. I don't really know what he's doing over there on the bed.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I'm not sure I want to know.
It was like this?
Yeah. No. Why don't you, like, come sit back in the chair? Come sit back in the chair. It'll be all right.
And you're like, hey, you know what? If the weasel goes even more into that side tangent,
keeps going and
this stream has
going.
only room for one self-proclaimed expert, all right, and it's Ken Wheeler. Like, stop. There's only one self-proclaimed expert on this show.
I'm starting to feel unappreciated all up in here.
Hey, you're right. It was Alex Rucker that broke the
potassium nitrate.
You see what happened?
It has X amount of joules of potential energy, which of course are measurable because we have past experiences of chemical reactions of certain things.
All right,
like
get us to 500,
nitrate,
and I'll see what
all sorts of chemical reactions.
Fair enough.
Of course, we can actually know potential measured in joules, watts, volts, amps, so on and so forth. So energy is not a what,
we all do.
Rather in most cases, of course,
What?
a how. But the how is manifest.
Like he said, didn't he say in watts, volts and stuff? That's not potential energy. That's electrical energy. What?
It's the anticipation of potential energy.
Oh yeah, it's the anticipation. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Anticipation.
Manifest is never energy, rather the dissipation of energy once again. Energy is capacity. And of course capacitance is inertia, or rest. It is inert. No energy is being expressed. If we of course have history with this
card something
particular
about capacitance. Yeah, capacitance is there. Yeah.
Yup. Also, for the record,
so the
gonna go ahead and call impotency.
What?
I'm calling impotency.
Oh, impotency. You mean on the bingo card, right? I thought it just accused me. Wow. That's a bit... I mean, I know I stopped you from doing whatever sexual thing in the background there, but there's no need for that. So,
don't be shame. You know.
But look, the only capacitance I know of is like in a capacitor, but I have an electronics background, so of course that's what I'm going to think of. Is there a capacitance in physics that I'm unaware of?
No.
Okay, well then...
No, you're thinking of exactly what he's thinking of. He just doesn't know anything about what he's thinking of. He thinks that...
Not potential energy. That's electrical energy. That's not potential.
Yeah, but it's the manifestation of the energy dielectric in the counter space manifold.
Okay.
Oh.
Exactly.
I'll pretend I know what you mean by that.
Same.
I mean, story of my life.
No, yeah, we're
maybe I do
as
have
is the
You're
case of the
right
ether.
there with you.
Because an AC generator, by the way, doesn't generate power. It manifests power by introducing a temporal variant. In the case against a copper reflector in a magnetic field, and you introduce a temporal variable, you have the manifestation of electricity. And of course the guidelines along which it is directed, but it is not actually generating anything. I've spoken about this in other videos. Anyway, pure potential. This, of course, is a definition of the ether. Energy as capacitance. Capacitance of what is inert, the inertia or rest. Potential or position, position as potential energy, of course, is a lie. Actually, I've been reading this growing up, and you were taught the same nonsense. Like if you stick a car on the top of a hill, it has greater potential. If I take this stone, actually it's not a stone, it's a piece of lead, and I actually elevate it, we'll say it actually has greater potential energy. Changing the position of something does not change. They will actually say, you can find countless thousands of websites on academic websites of universities, of physics labs. Well, changing the position changed potential energy. It has more potential energy, like taking a super huge rock and sticking up on the edge of a cliff. It has greater potential to smash something underneath it. The potential energy is, of course, not possessed. You can't say by changing the location of one thing relative to the other, such as the Earth relative to a rock, or this particular lead ball relative to the Earth, changes the potential energy. or that the potential energy of this thing
hang on a second, but gravity is what gives it that potential energy. That's gravity.
Yeah, but hold on, Mark.
Magnets disprove gravity.
Exactly. QED. Also, no scientist ever has given a definition of potential energy.
Right? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, so it can be literally anything he frigging makes up, essentially.
That tracks.
Completely ludicrous. And it fascinates me that the ineptitude of these people that would actually think that you've actually changed something of the attribution or qualitative nature of something by changing its location.
It's absolutely ludicrous that you would change the nature of something by changing its location. Ludicrous.
Well, it's not really the change in location, it's the other stuff that's like acting upon it. So if you lift up something above the Earth, then it's the gravitational attraction that's acting on it. It's not the change in location directly, right? It's whatever is different there. I don't understand that.
To formalize what the idea that you are grokking in a more formalized terms, you're grokking this. Trust me, you know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't even know what that means.
You do. Grok?
Yeah, what the hell is grok?
Oh, grok is a word which was invented by, I don't remember who, somebody in chat might know it. It means to, so fundamentally it means to intuitively understand on like a fundamental level.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I like that word.
Yeah, it's a word. It's a word that was first defined in a science fiction context by somebody like Isaac Asimov, but it wasn't Isaac Asimov, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So
really prescient.
Robert Heinlein, yes. Chat knows much more about what I'm talking about. It was a word that was defined with respect to a particular culture in a particular sci-fi context and has become very apt, and now you more or less grok what I mean by the word grok. So,
yep. I like that word.
It is a perfectly cromulent word. Anyway, So what did he say? What was I going to say about what he didn't grok? Hold on.
Change something. And it fascinates me that the ineptitude of these people that would actually think that you've actually changed something of the attribution or qualitative nature of something by changing its location.
So what I was going to say was that you grok, and Maya groks probably, and everybody in chat groks probably, what a field actually is. A field is a thing that has a value at every point in space, and when you exist like within it, that means that means something about like how much energy in this context you have. The gravitational field is a label at every point in space. If you put an object there, you know it's going to gain this much energy if it falls. Because it's this high up, and you multiply. That's not a very clear way of explaining it. I've been drinking. But it is something, if you move an object, it does change things about the way it behaves in the system.
Yeah, but it is that field that is acting upon it. It's not inherently the change in position. It's the change in...
It's the change in where it is located in the field. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But, tomato to some extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
you equate it to some sort of, I think he doesn't believe in gravity, if I'm gathering this correctly, and he thinks there's a resting point, an inertial resting point that it'll try to get back to. So he's trying to say, hey, moving it away from that inertial point doesn't change the attributes kind of thing. And it's like, well, it doesn't directly, but it kind of does indirectly through the position in the
yeah,
and things.
I don't know. So I would say if gun to his head, does he believe in gravity? He would say yes.
Okay.
Gun to his head. But he has a very disorganized thought process about everything that he understands at like one level. It can get all topsy-turvy one level down. Does he believe that gravity is, for example, the motion along a geodesic path in four-dimensional space-time as a consequence of the curvature of space-time due to the various laws of general relativity? Like, probably not. I'd be pretty surprised if he did. But that's also, like, quite frankly, there were 115 years ago, you couldn't hold anybody to that standard, and if you tried to hold me to that standard, I'd be able to BS my way out of it, but only because you're not a physicist trained in the subject of general relativity. If you were a physicist trained
at all,
if you were a physicist trained in the subject of general relativity, and I tried to pretend like I knew it at the level that you knew it, you would be able to get me to tie myself up in knots. But you're not, and nobody else in chat is, and I'm...
That's the way you like it.
You're damn right it is. Also, I've never taken a class on general relativity. My knowledge is very orthogonal to that, even though it's. I've never taken a class on physics, so you're doing better than I am. Anyway, let's listen to this absolute thumb of a man.
This is completely ludicrous. Position, of course, is not property of either objects. Rather, the potential is declared of the field torsion relative between the two objects, in the case of a rock or a boulder, or this lead ball and the Earth, in the case of mutual mass acceleration, by changing its position, but nothing of the property or the quality or the attributes of any object is changed.
He's just
keeping it
handling
simple.
lead barehanded. Is that
since we know that humanity always sees everything upside?
I mean, he's hardcore.
Lead, well, yeah, but the effect of lead on your brain is pretty detrimental. I'm just saying we might have an explanation of why he does these videos here.
Wait, so hold on. You're saying that when I spent a solid month at the age of 8 crafting a hand-hewn goblet made out of pure lead, and then proceeded to drink out of that for the next forever years, that was irresponsible?
Yeah, that's not lead. That's pewter. It'll be pewter. But the ones that they call lead goblets and lead miniatures are actually pewter.
Does pewter have lead?
Unsure. That's a good question. I don't think it has.
The answer is yes. It's lead and tin. I'm pretty sure. Pewter. I'm pretty sure. Let's find out.
Modern pewter contains no lead.
It says sometimes less commonly today lead. Okay, but if I'm doing this in my backyard, do you think I'm doing it in a way that doesn't have lead? If I make gasoline in my backyard, that gasoline is leaded because that's how chemistry works.
Okay.
And that's how Yankees do irresponsible chemistry.
Yeah, and it's sort of lead was removed from the composition of pewter in 1974.
Do I look like I'm younger than 1974?
No. So it's 90% tin, 0.58% antimony, and 3.3% copper.
I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah, so pewter that you'd be using doesn't have any lead in it.
Well, my point is, if I made it myself in the easiest way available to me, stoichiometrically.
Okay.
Exactly.
Down and backwards when we see impotency of energy is energy, and it is not energy at all, because true energy is inert. It is inertia. Once again, And I've had several people recently talking about inertia. So, I like how you try to redefine the term inertia. It's like, that's actually the original definition of the term inertia, i.e. energy. A field, of course, is an ether perturbation modality, as I've said thousands of times. The ether is...
I want to be absolutely clear for chat. An ether is not a field, something, whatever modality. It's not. It is a thing which has a value at every point in space. That's it.
Inertial. It is, of course, the medium. Energy, of course, is inertia. True energy, not the impotency of energy. Energy, of course, is the division or parceling out of inertia, and that, of course, is the impotency of energy, but it's what all humanity identifies as energy, where work is being done. But when work is being done, you've created the division or parceling of inertia. In the case of a rubber band, you actually have to exert energy to stretch that rubber band out. But when you stretch that rubber band out and you parcel out its inertial rest, you create another disparity, which of course is always dual, just as the case of a magnet. So a magnet has a north pole and a south pole. It's of a dual nature. It's not. It's the inverse of counter space. Counter space is inertia, is the rest point. And stretching out that rubber band...
Counter space on the bingo card. Counter space. What the hell is counter space?
Well, it's a whole thing, Mark.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
I suppose it's some symmetrical or reflexive dual space that exists in the manifestly isotropic self-reflective nature of the capacitance grid that is self-actuating according to the dielectric modality.
Excuse me, I've just looked it up in the dictionary, and it says that it is a total flat surface area for preparing food in a kitchen. How dare you? How dare you lie to me?
Well, you know what? Okay, I live in America, and I am a white people, and that is how I roll. All right.
I'm just saying one of these things is useful. and I can't see him making a sandwich on his counter space. So
okay, hold on. Base theory, Grayson. So a vector value and a scalar value are both still values. You can have a scalar value, and it is a vector value. I did not say a value characterized by a single number, by a single scalar number. But I appreciate your astuteness. But yes, I do think that value is a more flexible term than that. Sorry.
Yeah, and dissipating energy. When, of course, if you stretch a rubber band across your lip, everybody should do that. It's a great little science experiment for kids. Like when you stretch it across your lip, it feels hot. And when you let it contract against your lip, it, of course, feels cold. When you stretch that rubber band out, are you not also, too, inducing the polarization of the energy or inertia of that rubber band? Yes, because if you let go of the rubber band, it will want to snap back towards its inertial mode, or its rest point, which is inert. Polarization of both energy and the polarization of what people call magnetism. These are...
I hate this guy so much.
No. I mean, inertia is it is the force of the elasticity pulling it together again, but there's no resting point. There's no point at which, oh, I want to stay here kind of thing. Inertia just, it's the tendency to not move when not acted upon and move when acted upon.
Yeah. It's the tendency that every point is that point of I don't want to move. Would be a different way of putting it. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's this guy's so dumb. Maya, why do you do this to us? I blame you.
I'm not mentioned.
Oh,
you mean like chat and everybody has to watch this ridiculous poll?
Yeah, I mean that this is Maya's channel, Okay, and Maya is responsible for all y'all, including myself, having to endure this content. You know how much content I make you endure on my channel?
You cannot make anybody responsible for you. There's no way.
Is it the same amount of content that Titan makes everyone endure?
It's less. It's less content than Titan. Titan has more than zero content on Titan's channel.
I have a video with
work pretty hard to get all the way up to 0.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, choose not to even acknowledge the definition of numbers that aren't 0.
You know what? If it weren't for me, you would all be watching quality content tonight, and I just couldn't have it. So you're welcome.
Yep.
Force in motion, inertia, and acceleration. The dissipation of force or inertia, i.e. the dielectric or the plane of inertia, manifesting as a centrifugal force vector. Walter Russell called this the dissipation of energy along east-west. By east-west, he means centrifugal. And when he says north-south, he's referring to centripetal, i.e. increasing inertia and acceleration, towards the point of inertia or rest.
Why has that got anything to do with the cardinal directions? What? That's rotational. Is he talking about the Earth now? I am so lost. I don't know what he's talking about. Because he says,
I know exactly what he's talking about. Hold on. No, I know exactly what he's talking about. Where's my whiteboard? Where's the whiteboard go?
I lost the whiteboard, guys.
Hold on. Is it okay?
Did towards it go the way point of the easel? Of inertia or rest.
I covered it.
Did you know that most lead in the Earth, something like 98% of lead, used to be uranium? The rest of uranium, through its half-life, where it turns into lead, through the release of radiation, the centrifugal release, both of gamma radiation and...
What's up?
Well, I mean, it throws off
alpha. Did he say something wrong?
I don't know. What's Tap doing?
Wait, no.
I'm trying to release
a spasm.
Okay, fine. This guy knows how to pronounce weird things. This guy speaks ancient languages at a competent level, professionally. Like, if you need to translate an ancient language of a certain, I think like ancient Greek. Like, if you give him something that was written in Greek 2,500 years ago, like, he might be able to give you a respectable, good, quality translation of it.
Yeah, but we're not doing that today, right?
Well, as far as I know...
Well, it feels like we are, though, right?
Radioactive decay doesn't throw out gamma radiation. It throws out alpha and beta particles. So, I don't...
It does all of them. Gamma comes out. Generally, alpha and beta come out with the gamma as well. Because the thing about gamma is you're able to do a lot of... It gives you a different sort of relationship between energy and momentum compared to massive particles. So you're able to like solve equations and other ways.
And turn it to the whole...
An alpha particle emission.
Yeah.
And its rest inertia is this. I actually have this covered in rubber tape, but this is a ball of lead, actually. So this is the inertial point of most uranium. Lead is not a naturally occurring element in the universe. It is the rest null inertial mass variable, or the actual...
No, why? Because he's talking about stable elements, ones that aren't radio... that don't radio decay, basically. So the way the particles are, they get to a stable point, but it's got nothing to do with inertia.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
You're correct. I am unaware of any way in which that has anything to do with inertia, and I am well known in the community for bending over backwards in any direction that I can possibly imagine in order to give people the benefit of the doubt. And no, that makes no sense. Complete nonsense.
You mean different elements don't have different inertia states?
Yeah,
they have different masses. But I don't. What do you mean by inertia states? Like that's a weird way of
what
saying
is he
a thing.
talking about? Like I don't.
Nothing. No. That's what he's talking about, Maya.
For the words,
he's trying to redefine
periodic table
energy
elemental
as inertia.
rest.
He's trying to say that inertia
uranium.
is
All
just
uranium
energy.
turns into lead.
Why would that be true?
So energy is the division or the parceling of inertia. So let's make this really simple, since we now know what energy is and what it is not. It's certainly not a concept, it's not a property, it's not a number, as these quantum folks like to talk about. The ability to do work does not define energy.
Need them to be the same.
Like say a horse can pull hay, or a horse can pull a carriage. Well, this is true, and that's wonderful. Makes horses useful, but that doesn't tell you what the hell a horse is. Light and illumination. Let's get back to the really simple analogy. Principle and attribute. Energy is the parceling or attribution of the extrinsic side of the inertia point of a medium. Of course, light is a complex field modality, which of course is no different than ether perturbation modality. But what's the inertial point?
He likes his whiteboard.
Yes, I need a whiteboard for that. What is wrong with you? How you be like this?
Well, you need energy.
My headphones fell off. I can't even hear what you're saying anymore. They're on the floor. Okay. And it's all your fault. All right. And Maya's fault.
I blame
totally
chat.
your fault, Mark. Don't know what's wrong with you. Like, how
I blame chat. I always blame chat. Because 90% of the time it's chat's fault, quite frankly. I love you, chat. So you need energy to be able to provide inertia, right? So if something is in motion and you want to stop it, you've got to provide energy in order to make that happen. So it sounds like he's just saying, well, because you need energy to cause inertia, then energy is inertia, and there's no reason why that would follow. Because obviously radiometric decay, it needs energy and throws out energy while it's decaying. Then that's inertia, because he's already defined it as energy is inertia. That's what I think he's going.
Inertia is a tendency to not do other stuff. It is not a thing that you measure in and of itself, unless you mean things very specifically in the context of questions like the equivalence principle. Which they just don't, they never do. Okay, the equivalence principle is a thing that has only been around for like 100 years. So, I'm broken. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I feel like he's just throwing out terms. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, what causes light to manifest? The release of energy. Nobody sees light once again, they only see illumination. So it's the division of inertia. The division of inertia is seen in the polarity of a magnet. It is seen between the conjugate fields of magnetism and dielectricity, which makes up that which human beings call electricity. The very, very simple thing that human beings call electricity, as Charles Proteus Steinmetz accurately said, is the consubstantiality of magnetism and dielectricity. But magnetism is no different than saying the energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia of the dielectric.
What?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
The substantiality of magnetism and dielectricity. But magnetism is no different than saying the energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia of the dielectric. Different than saying the energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia of the dielectric. Is no different than saying the energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia of the dielectric.
The energy impedancy of the loss of energy. And what was the last bit over there?
Than saying the energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia of the dielectric. Different than saying the energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia of the dielectric.
Okay.
Did the captions get that?
Good question. Excellent. Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
So energy.
Yeah, look at that. Can you read?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Energy impedancy of the loss of energy or inertia dielectric. That is just word salad. That is just absolute word salad.
Hey, Mark, welcome to the stream.
Yeah.
Have you not been? I would have bet like $100 that you for sure had been on Bad Science Sunday at least once. There's no way that this is your first time.
I mean, it feels like he should be, right? Because this is right up his alley. Like Mark, it's like Mark was made to be a guest.
Exactly.
On the show.
Exactly. This is my point.
So weird.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you've watched me just steadily deteriorate over the course of the stream.
Remember when he used to come to stream? He was all kempt. He had his hair was all tied back in a bow.
I mean, this is what happens when you make a physicist wear a lab coat, okay? And I was already wearing a physics shirt. Do you not see it? It says DAMOP. DAMOP stands for Division of Atomic, Molecular, and Optical Physics.
I don't see anything about NASA on that shirt.
Well, I've just got a Totoro on my shirt, so that shows how.
Okay, yeah.
Totoro, you don't know Totoro? Oh, come on.
Is it anything like what was the penis thing we were talking about for weeks?
Arr.
Oh, grr.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. It's from an anime called My Neighbor Totoro by Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli so much.
Yeah.
Lab coat wins. The lab coat is always going to win.
Always wins. Yeah, I know.
It just really does. I don't know.
Well, I don't see Ken wearing a lab coat, so I don't know why I should trust him. Yeah, I trust you, Tapioca Weasel. You're wearing a lab coat. That's
trust him.
Well, I mean, he's wearing a lab coat, and you can see how brilliant he is.
He's from down under, okay? He's got a lot of blood flowing to his head. That's why he's going to trust me, okay? But let me just... I'll button it up. And I'll send you pictures of my grandpa being a famous physicist person back before they invented color photos.
Well, the chat's upset that there's not a pocket protector.
Okay, well, I make my own pocket protectors out of a sandwich bag, like a Ziploc sandwich bag. So I can go do it right now if you want.
It's got to be what it is.
So do you want me? I'm confused.
Play.
In consubstantiality, meg, phi times psi equals q in blank of electrification, that which human beings call electricity. When you understand what electricity is as a compound conjugate, explaining how an electromagnet works becomes really easy. Explaining electrical phenomena.
What are you doing?
Compound conjugate.
Because it's like, stop doing this.
Electrical engineers are told to believe in, which are true, but they don't easily explain electricity. But if you understand what electricity is as this high...
Do you understand what electricity is, Ken Wheeler?
Hybrid consubstantiality between magnetism and dielectricity, which are a conjugate whole.
You know why, Sydney? Because I never wear it. I wear this. You know how often I wear this? 3 times a year. And it's all in the week surrounding Halloween. Because that is when people expect me to be wearing a lab coat, and a scientist is always fine.
I was gonna say, like, you really have that mad scientist, Halloween costume, just
down pat.
Like it just, yeah, absolutely.
You know how many things it required? It required 1 lab coat in the closet and 4 years of not cutting my hair.
Okay.
And I can do that. I can do that. But
your mother must be so proud.
I work at Stanford. She's pretty proud, yeah.
No, the haircut.
And understanding these phenomena becomes incredible.
Huh?
Haircut.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Incredibly easy. So, this impedency of energy, i.e. true energy, is inertia. It is inertial, i.e. inert. Inert, inertia.
There's probably something there.
Yeah.
Inertia.
And human beings.
Yeah.
People.
You gonna whip out the
really hard
board and like show us what that is, or?
Well, like, so inertia can be the tendency to stay at rest. So if we say something's inert, it's not moving. So it kind of is linked, kind of things that, so saying something is inert doesn't automatically equal inertia, like, because it's also the tendency when applied a force, something moves. So that's not inert. Because inert means
so I threw it into Google because that's always sound. It says the state of being inert.
What, inert, or that's the definition of
no,
inert?
I put inertia, the state of being inert.
Oh, that's a bad definition.
Yeah.
No, Google is always right. It does no wrong.
That's a bad definition, Google. How could you do this to me? I rely on you. Your model is don't be evil. Okay.
Time wrapping their mind around something that has no Cartesian value or footprint.
The fuck is Cartesian value?
Well, Cartesian value is just a two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate, right? I mean, that's what I would read it as. So X, Y, essentially.
No, that's not. I don't think that's what he means. I don't think he means.
Yeah, I know he doesn't mean that, but that's how I would read that, right? That's what a Cartesian sort of value would be.
That's not a way that I've heard it referred to as. Cartesian coordinates, yes. Value, no. And what I would immediately assume that he is referring to a philosophical concept, because Descartes was a philosopher as well as a mathematician back when there weren't a whole lot of mathematicians, so you got to be a little bit flexible with some of the titles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
If the answer is no, then say no, and I can be like, okay, then, and laugh it off and just press play, as I will do.
Yeah, but I mean, Descartes, like, I don't think he used the word Cartesian outside of mathematics. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it's a philosophical term at all.
You don't think who did? Ken Wheeler?
Descartes.
Descartes didn't use the word Cartesian unless he was a crazy narcissist at all, right? This is a word that definitely would have been applied in retrospect to his ideas that he articulated, but he wouldn't have necessarily wrapped them up in a thing that we now call, like, the Cartesian coordinate system. I doubt that Descartes called the Cartesian coordinate system the Cartesian coordinate system.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have. Just move on. I'm just saying that, like, I've never heard of that in philosophy.
I've never heard of anything in philosophy because I don't study philosophy. It's a fantastic deal.
Thing so totally inert that you wave your hand through it. Fish don't realize they're swimming in water. Human beings, when they wave their hand, don't realize they're, flapping their, running their hand through pure potential.
See, if Leo was here, we would all be educated on this aspect of Descartesian philosophy for the next 8 hours. It would be wonderful.
Give it a month. Leo will take over the.
This is the reason why AC generates.
Yeah, I can. I live in constant fear that Leo is going to take my spot on this show. To my veins.
Generators don't generate power. When you introduce a temporal variant against a dielectric reflector, copper winding, using a magnetic field, then spontaneously, from the medium, of which it is a medium modality, electricity manifests. An AC generator is not a generator at all. It doesn't make something, it makes something appear, which by definition is magic, but you're conjuring up something.
Magic.
This invisible line.
Do you believe in magic?
No one does. Well, Ken Wheeler might.
I mean, I believe in magic.
No, you don't.
I believe in the magic of my gorgeous looks.
Yes, we all know your thoughts on face sitting. Let's move on. something else.
I don't think I was able to go into the detailed mechanics of exactly how that is executed.
I regret this up.
Hold on, you brought this up. Well, you know, no, I'm just saying, there's a whole thing, because the thing is, she was trying to sit on her feet, which were going through her ankles, which were going through her knees, which were going through her thighs. What you got to do is you got to immediately settle on the knees. And then it's way easier. You've got way more stability, and you can just stay there and hang out for. I'm sorry.
And between physics and metaphysics disappears when you truly and genuinely understand just one little aspect of which. And there are many different examples that AC generator doesn't generate power; it manifests power. When you truly.
What the hell does that mean, Mark? What does that mean?
That's the magic. It manifests. It's manifest destiny. It just manifests
destiny.
The generator doesn't generate power. It doesn't use, a rotary engine to use fuel and transfer that energy into power. No, it just manifests it out of wishes.
What energy? What energy? Potential energy, Mark? Are you saying that potential energy exists? How could you? I can't remember if he thinks it exists or not, but I know that he was mocking it.
Well, it's the loss of inertia of the dielectric is what it is. That's
it's the loss of the inertia of the dielectric because of the way that it interacts with, like, the transubstantiated sublimated toroid field.
And don't forget the Cartesian value of the dielectric that causes the generator to manifest power as a potentiality of
a potentiality gradient. It's because of the potentiality gradient that is applied to its self-potentiality exponentiated in the capacitance grid.
Yeah, so what the generator does is it self-actualizes power. That's what it does.
Okay,
This is terrible. It manifests power.
Yeah.
Truly understand that all of humanity is everything upside down and backwards. They see the impotency or release of energy as energy. It's the total opposite of that. They don't understand that this thing between my hands, forgetting the oxygen and nitrogen, i.e. the medium, is the place that has no place, with no Cartesian value, from which power manifests, given a specific arch form that human beings call an AC, AC motor.
You know what I just got a flashback to? Did anyone see, what was that superhero Ben Stiller movie?
I've never seen a Ben Stiller movie.
They're pretty bad, actually. I like Ben Stiller. He's all right.
Mystery Men. And there was a character called the Sphinx who always talked in riddles that weren't riddles. They were just they were tautologies, basically. The place that without a place. It's such a it's a what is it? A truism or a
deepity.
Deepity, that's the one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. The deepity. It just doesn't mean anything.
It's a truism of a certain type.
Right. A deepity. No, that's the one I was thinking of. Thank you.
Sure.
It's just a deepity. It just means a place without a place. About.
This is what Eric Dollard meant in saying all these AC motors were nothing other than arch forms. Indian, ancient Egyptian, ancient Indian arch forms. The freaking dream catcher of the, I think in the Navajo, were the first to represent the dream catchers. I could be wrong in the Native Americans. That's an archetype of the magnetodielectric constructive and destructive interference between magnetism dielectricity that you see now over constructive. I could be wrong in the Native Americans. That's an archetype of the magnetodielectric constructive and destructive interference between magnetism dielectricity that you see of the magnetodielectric constructive and destructive interference between magnetism dielectricity that you see now.
No, it's some like string on a circle, and it doesn't really do anything. It's a dream.
It causes me pain. It causes me pain. That's what it does. And the man is phenomenal at it.
over 1,000 plus ferrocell videos that I myself have even made, over 1,000 of them. Power is rest.
What?
Inertia. Power is just nothing other than a euphemism for energy. This is the reason why these...
No, they have different dimensions, my guy. This is actually an important... It's not important. You don't need to know this, but if you're interested in actually knowing, like, the stuff, power and energy are two different things, but they're very closely related, right, Mark?
Right.
Power is just the amount of energy over time. So you don't measure energy like when you get a bill, like, it's not in, well, in the US at least, it's not in kilowatts, which is a unit of energy. It's in kilowatt hours, right, Maya?
Yeah, so it's measured in watts. So that's
like, I'm over here just thinking about girl stuff. Like, are we talking about how to bake a pie?
I'm talking about your energy bill. Do you not have an energy bill?
Look, math is hard. It's what I keep a husband for.
Wow.
But you don't have a husband.
Oh, right. I guess I have to do all this shit myself. Carry on.
This is what happens when I try and loop in Maya, okay? I'm here trying to be a good... I'm trying to be a good...
I don't know shit. I don't know shit. I just gotta, I just let all the men's do all the smart talking. So I'm over here trying to keep my tits in my bra.
Torque is a particular type of force moment, for the record.
Well, I mean, you can convert power into... you can convert energy into power. That's the thing. All you need to do is basically set a time frame and you can come up with an amount of watts it's producing. Like, if you want to convert volts into watts, it's fairly simple. But it's not the same thing.
You have to know... So you can't just convert volts into watts. Volts are...
Well, yeah.
You have to know one other thing.
Amplitude and... Yeah.
You need the current, I guess. It depends. A resistance. It depends on which other thing you know, because Ohm's law can be expressed in like 8 different ways. I mean, it's not. I think it's probably... Is it 3? It's like, who knows?
I only learned one. What? You mean the...
Yeah, but you swap them all out. You got V equals IR, and then you've got, I equals P... P equals IV. Sorry. I'm not very smart, okay? This guy, right there, yeah.
Yeah, so all you need is the amplitude, essentially.
Yeah, volts are...
potential.
Joule per coulomb, I believe.
Scientists and these materialists, these atomists, they even Richard Feynman said, if anybody tells you they understand what... I think Richard Feynman says something to the effect that no branch of science today can tell you what energy is. And he's right. Because
no.
All right, so Google says the volt measures how much pressure there is in an electric current.
Not a bad definition. Not a bad definition, but you have to be able to interpret that analogy properly. Because fundamentally they're making an analogy, I think.
Yes, they are.
Because they can't comprehend it.
I mean, we could say it's like the difference of potential that would drive 1 ampere of current against 1 ohm of resistance. But I thought I'd go with the simpler definition.
Exactly. But it's also it's simpler on one level, but it's also more complex on, like, it requires you to know what pressure is and how it works already. And if Maya, as a fraction of the number of entities about which we are talking, how many of them do you think we can reliably say really understand and grok pressure and how it works?
Are we talking about like the chat or like the society at large, or
we're talking about the people that we respond to when we're talking out loud when we're on air?
Oh yeah, people in the chat who are usually way more smart than me. I mean, look at this shit.
I mean, they're pretty. That is okay. E is a weird symbol to use, but I suppose. Yeah, Leo, you don't. That was gonna sound mean. I was gonna say, Leo, you don't know anything about applied anything because you're like a very theoretical guy, and like that's not wrong, but yeah.
I mean, so like my ex was like he's a carpenter by trade, but he was a what do you call it? Can't remember shit. Contractor. So yeah, he talks about a lot of this shit. So I can like ramble off jargon, but I'm not altogether sure to the extent of which I truly understand.
No, I like word. That's. See, the thing is, I just did that for enough years in a row in a formalized program, and they gave me a PhD. I swear to God, that's how it works.
Genuine energy or power, another euphemism thereof, is the ether. No Cartesian value. It is completely inert.
The luminosity.
In its rest.
The luminosity from which we view all life.
It's the luminiferosity ether.
Have we come full circle?
It is inert. The rest of uranium is this, lead. Lead is not a naturally occurring element.
Lead. Is that lead? Do you think that's lead in sand?
He says that it's lead bound up with tape, and I don't think that's a particularly safe way to store lead.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if I owned a chunk of lead, I probably wouldn't be safe at all with it. Because I'm just irresponsible.
You're just proving my point here.
Wait, hold on. I don't know. I can pretend it's lead. I have gallium somewhere here. It's pretty badass. My brother got me.
Gallium isn't in like harmful in the slightest, unless of course you drop it on your laptop or something, and then it can be very dangerous.
Well, you know what?
Can you say something about Valium?
Gallium.
God damn it.
Where'd it go?
I think we need Valium. Like that would help me get through this video a lot easier.
Well, I mean, if you've got Valium, you're going to have to share that. Okay, because I'm pretty sure that you and I have a profit sharing agreement. And we absolutely I want to say, we absolutely don't. And I'm saying right now, I'm going on strike, Maya, because I'm
cashing in on that shit.
I'm an employee and I'm being exploited by the capitalistic hierarchy that you are the corporealization of.
Okay, so just on a serious note, do be careful with stuff like that. Benzos are very dangerous.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, no, instead, you should drink yourself into a stupor.
Of uranium. Go look that up.
Medication.
Uranium makes great medication. Right, Ken?
Believe me.
Yeah, that's lead.
Lead is not a naturally occurring element. It is a depletion of uranium. Go look that up if you don't believe me.
I don't believe you, Ken.
But nobody's taught this stuff in high school or college. It is really...
Thank God.
Really, really simple, because nature is that simple. And yet I do not joke when I tell you that no branch of science has ever defined the term field, and they sure as hell have never defined the term energy.
Okay. I don't know. So I don't have the words being called out because I'm bad at this.
They themselves admit this.
I'm just going to start calling things.
Say, well, energy is potential or it's kinetic. If it's kinetic, it is the inverse of energy. And it is potential, we're talking about something that's completely...
If it's kinetic, it's the inverse of energy.
Isn't
I don't...
Energy
oh, there's a
thing? I mean, it's been a while, but I think I remember that being a thing.
Kinetic energy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what the inverse of it is, but Just
Is there
because
also an
that
inverse of energy, which is also kinetic?
these are not on their face absurd things. Like if
I mean, it's
I
a yes
can
or no question. I remember some things from science class. I don't remember a lot of the things he's saying. Maybe I never tell you.
no, not that
So
I'm aware of. If it short version, not that I'm aware of. Long version, that's how you win a Nobel Prize, is adding to the things that people like me are aware of. So, if you can come up with a wide-ranging paradigm in which it is useful and productive to think about the inverse of energy in a way that isn't what we already think of it as, because we think of energy as being equal to frequency, and then the inverse of frequency is going to be a time. But that's not no. Like if you count that, then yeah, we already got it. But sorry.
What about the inverse of energy? Is it kinetic? So I'm asking.
Insufficient information is the answer.
We kind of separate all of this energy, or the sort of abstraction that's energy, the ability to do work, into all of these sort of different types kind of thing. So like he's taking two types of energy and saying, hey, one's the opposite of the other because they're not the same. I don't like energy doesn't really have an opposite. I don't understand what the opposite of energy is, because we sort of say like darkness is the opposite of light, but it's not. It's just the absence of light. Like It's not really the opposite.
Indeed.
Like there's only things that we see as opposite in a purely.
It's not like matter and antimatter, is what you're saying.
Right. It's not like that.
Mark, you have bingo twice over.
Oh, do I? What do I?
I'm pretty sure you do, right?
See, Mark is being a good guest, and he's paying attention to the show.
Well, I'm. It's a good guess. It's not a guess with self-preservation.
Okay, well, I mean, I may have lost my bingo card.
No. Let me. Okay. I'll send it to you. You're okay. So your card is this one.
I got it.
I'm gonna post it into public chat for great justice.
I mean,
help me out, people. Help me out.
It is still pinned to the top. If you would like to play bingo, it is still pinned to the top of the chat. If you would like to hit the like button, it is always where it's always been, and you should definitely do that because you're an awesome person.
And then you should go
mumbo jumbo, not understanding dimensions. Did he say Einstein is wrong? I don't think he did. I don't think I have.
Not yet. I don't think I don't. Wait, hold on.
Yet?
Someone's called bingo. Who's the first person to call bingo? Who's in charge? Alex.
Wait, hold on. You have impotency analogies nobody asked for. Do you not? Or you're 65.
What?
Are you not card 65?
What? Am I not card 65?
What's the
No, I'm Beast of the Marks bingo card.
That's my point. It's the same thing.
Is it?
Yes. Look at the URL.
Yes, I'm card 65. Yes,
exactly. And your entire left-hand column, capacitance, original definition, it means nothing, analogies nobody asked for, and impotency, duh. That's what I see.
Wait, you said we had to get all of them on this one.
No, I did not.
Oh.
I didn't mean to, at least.
Well, somebody's called bingo before me, so I think
that's not how it works. I give it to everybody, okay? If so, here's how it's going to work once this channel gets
bingo. Then
you got absolutely got bingo.
Yes,
this is
okay. Well, I feel good about that.
I do give it away, okay? You know, I try to. I like giving it away.
We have 20 minutes to try to get through anything at all on here.
Completely inert. Okay. Unless we know, well, X number of grams of potassium
nitrate
has X amount of potential kinetic release of energy, not energy itself. You know, that's That's history. That's what we've learned. This many grams of so-and-so chemical element will have this many joules, watts, amps of release of energy. We say release of energy, we're not meaning energy, rather than the impedancy of energy. So energy is really simple, and yet it is so sublime it actually confuses the hell out of all of academia.
So potassium nitrate opposite explodes. You've got to understand this. It opposite explodes. It inversely explodes. There's no energy.
For sure. Exactly.
It's not a number. It's not a property.
It's not a number. It's not a property. Crickets.
And human beings really have a hard time wrapping their mind around something that is completely inert. Such as the ether. Here we have 1 cubic meter of ether. So there's nothing there. You wave your hand through it, you can't feel it. Yeah, but when you stick an arch form...
There's air there. What are you talking about? It's not ether. What? Didn't Michelson Morley put this one to rest ages ago?
Well, yeah, unless you're going to completely ignore the wonderful work of, hold on, what was his name? Dayton Miller. I think it was Dayton Miller, was a guy who did experiments like the Michelson-Morley type on top of a mountain, and he got a positive result, and he was not an incompetent man. Like, he was a respected physicist when he published his results, and he was probably just wrong. Because, I'm able to be wrong, and there's 5 of me working together, so, it's tough.
Minute, and you vary the magnetic field with respect to time, this 1 cubic meter of ether will produce...
This guy has no idea how big a meter is. A meter is not that big. That's right.
A meter is 3 feet, isn't it?
This is at best this is 2 feet.
Yeah, no, meters.
Oh, what he's doing? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Look at
that
what he's doing.
That is not a meter.
He's holding. That is not a meter. That is off by a factor of 2. Okay. That's a lot to be off of.
It's not too bad. It's probably about.
It's a factor of 2. I can't see your other hand.
I know.
I can only see one of them.
I get it. Sort of that big.
It's at least 25% bigger. Well, see, now I can't see your hand anymore.
Yeah,
and now I can't.
It's exactly
exactly. And he is further back, but that's not a meter. He's like this. A meter is like that. A meter's like that. I probably have. Hold on, I can find one.
Produce a tremendous amount of electricity because the AC generator is not generating like baking a cake where you're building something. AC generator is not making electricity. It is causing electricity to extrude from the ether itself, just like when you squeeze a tube of toothpaste. Imagine some caveman. You can sit there and play with a tube of toothpaste all you want. Like, well, you just unscrew the top and squeeze it, and then this stuff is well, when you have an arch form and you vary the magnetic field with respect to time, if you went back before the days of AC generators...
What is the analogy? Us talking about time is like a caveman playing with a tube of toothpaste. What is this analogy? I don't...
It's a bold, experimental new way of looking at the world.
Oh, wow.
Right?
No, nothing about this is right.
Well, you signed up for this.
There's somewhere around there. I have 1 cubic meter of ether right here. And from it, I can get enough power to power a small city. I mean, they laugh at you like you were nuts. Yeah, but I have to have an arch form with a specific geometry, vary the magnetic field with respect to time, and this 1 cubic meter of ether will produce prodigious amounts of electricity.
Is that what his computer's running on? Is that how the fire's being produced? He runs everything on his
ether. Yeah, just it's all just running on Ether.
This man has never paid a power bill in his life. He's got the Aether to prove it. See, look at it. Look at it. This Aether, this meter squared of Aether that I have right here in my hands.
Yeah, but why is it called Ethernet then?
Oh, you know what? I don't actually know.
It's called Ethernet because they named it after ether, like this. Like, this is one of the situations where people who, like, I see where they trip themselves up because there's just like a thing lying in the middle of the road to trip over. And in this case, it's the fact that some guy just named it Ether because guess what? If you and I were just making a new thing, like, imagine for a moment that I was making a bingo website, okay? Just hypothetically, I was making a bingo website.
I can't imagine that. That would be an absolute shit show.
It would be insane. So and you could go to a place like, for example, tapiocaweasel.com, and there would be a bingo game, and that would be crazy. And like, if you went there, I forgot where I was going to go with this because I just started shilling for myself because I'm selfish.
ADHD.
Fantastic.
You're crazy.
I mean a bit.
Huh?
I don't see a dancing weasel on this homepage, and I don't like it.
I'm working on it. But if you want to provide me with some HTML code, if you can, here's what you got to do.
Oh,
if you
I
wrap
haven't
it,
done HTML for ages.
Me neither. Ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT wrote 97% of the code that my site runs on.
The goddamn stream.
Yeah, but that's exactly how it works. This is the reason why Oliver Heaviside upset of the large AC motors of his time. They're churning up the ether, which is exactly what's happening. Like squeezing the toothpaste. In the case of toothpaste, would be the electricity. It's being squeezed from the ether, and it's the ether itself. It's an ether perturbation modality. Electricity is, and a hybrid thereof also. That sounds mystical and magical. The only reason why it sounds that way is because there is no dividing line between physics and metaphysics. These people can't define energy and they can't define a field, and yet they want to divide physics and metaphysics. Like,
I mean, did you care to weigh in on that?
No.
Okay.
Well, I feel like I've already addressed it. A field is a thing that it has a definition for every point in space. There, I defined a field. Energy is the capacity to do work.
What I can
tell you, there's no difference between physics and metaphysics.
Oh well, that's a philosophical question.
Yeah, that's for the physicists. Look, there is a massive difference, but I can also tell you that Tapioca Weasel doesn't like paying a lot of money for his website because he actually got it registered through a company called Namecheap.
100% I did. Namecheap. Namecheap is cheaper than GoDaddy. Okay, yeah. And GoDaddy. And GoDaddy is like
really fucking cheap.
Yeah, man, it's like exactly.
You made me spill my wine on that. Like I was like,
to be fair, hold on,
that's not a thing.
I have tapiocaweasel.com and I'm using it for something that actually is, in a limited way, in its infancy, contributing towards what I'm trying to do as a part of this community. The fuck have you done lately with markreid.com or mayaadkisson.com? Just saying.
No.
I actually don't know. YouTube maybe Mark does.
Mark Reid / Maya Atkinson is like way more, makes people way more happier.
Well, not me. Wait, it does.
Yeah, but nobody cares about you. I mean, okay, yeah. Next week, everybody, he'll be on Wix.
Did you put ping protection on it?
Probably not. I don't know what that means. Is that DDoS protection?
No.
Very rudimentary.
I mean, you can do a
like they're two different things.
Attack.
We're gonna play because I don't know what we're talking about, and Maya is there being like, "What's happening?"
It's just intellectual lunacy. Anyway, I rest my case. I love to talk about this subject endlessly. I hope I didn't talk too long. If so, I humbly apologize.
You did.
Lux Veritas.
I don't forgive you.
Oh, he's just gonna walk away. That is perfect.
You see?
It's like, I could talk about this forever. Instead, I'm gonna stand up and go away.
Maya's been
Here.
story of my life.
Yeah. I just need to hear the quiet. Hi, Mark Reid. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Where do people find you?
They find me on at Mark Reid Atheism on YouTube's, which is really all that I'm doing at the moment is just the YouTube's thing, and which I'm happy with. I also am sort of getting a gaming channel up and running. I'm getting used to doing gaming streaming. I don't feel that confident at the moment, but I'm just sort of practicing and keeping a low profile. But if you do want to join me, that's Mark of the Beast. No, Beast of the Mark, sorry.
I like Mark of the Beast. It's probably taken though, right?
Mark of the Beast. No, that's mine now. I've got it. That's
Mark
mine.
of the Beast?
Yeah. Beast of the Mark. Beast of the Mark is mine. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
and
is that like that's on YouTube or Twitch? Yeah. Is it Twitch or YouTube?
You can't find me in person, Grayson. I am a recluse. There's no possible way you can do that. Plus, I have to keep up this sham Australian thing going for my NASA payout. So, I can't let you meet me in person because then you'll just realize I'm a Canadian pretending to be Australian. So,
I have to pretend to be a weasel physicist doctor person.
I realize that.
It's really difficult. Okay, so you've got a hard life, but I'm at a whole different level.
Do you live in a non-existent continent island thing?
Apparently so.
That may or may not be there, depending on how reality works in your head.
So
Mark lives on Schrodinger.
Lives upside down.
Lives on Schrodinger.
Well, I've traced your Schrodinger's
continent.
So I would say that this is probably hosted on your university or your campus server somewhere, because I've run into a series of firewalls and it's actually rejecting my ping request. So it does have DDoS protection on it.
I'm running it through Heroku.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me neither. I asked ChatGPT what I should do and how I should deploy my website, and it was like, you can use Heroku. And so I did that.
I wonder if
which is, for the record, well, I have no idea, but I do not know. I'm a total novice in this, and I have completely made the site from scratch. From scratch, not from a template, not from anything, from scratch. I made the site in like the last 2.5-3 months.
Oh, that's good. That's really
on
good.
The weekends. Exactly, and I did it by being like, hey, ChatGPT, I want to do this thing, and I looked through Squarespace for a little bit, and I couldn't figure out a way to make a bingo site that was interactive and had all of these particular features that I want to add. Most of which I've added, but not all of which.
Mark, are you on Twitch or are you just on YouTube?
What?
No,
you
I'm
think
just on YouTube.
Just shuts me down?
I did not shut you down. Everybody knows you have a bingo site. It's
I'm just saying,
at the top of the chat all fucking stream.
I was teasing.
Well, Heroku's obviously in Virginia, I would guess, so that's where the last IP address comes up. But that's okay. I just wondered where that you'd actually hosted it, if it was hosted.
We should talk about it because you clearly know more about this, which is not a surprise given your profession, at a fundamental level than I do. I've just sort of whipped it together based on what I could figure out how to do.
Yeah, well, you probably want some sort of script running on it, from what I know. So HTTP or HTML, hypertext markup language, is only really used for basic functionality. It basically it provides you hyperlinks, it provides stuff like that.
Yeah.
Generally, you will use some sort of script like JavaScript.
I do. I have. There are several different. There's a whole folder of scripts for the games, the cards, the subject lists, the admin functions, in JavaScript for the things.
Well,
but,
when I last time I did.
Maya's unhappy with me for talking about this so extensively. I can tell from the look on her face.
It's just I'm not the best person to ask because my field really deals with communications between servers and not application level. So actually doing the sort of coding, net code. But
you're better than anybody else.
Well, the last time I used HTML was like back in the days where we all used Flash kind of thing. And if you know, Flash is incredibly dangerously unsecure, so nobody uses it anymore kind of thing. So
I wonder if that's the same Flash. I do use a Flash functionality to display warning. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just,
Mark.
Your site isn't even a secure site, so...
I have a question, Mark.
Yes, a question mark.
Who are you? Who are you? Where are you?
He just answered who he is.
What have I got coming up?
I'm asking him again.
Well, wait a minute. For anybody who in the future may have sat through like Doc like melting down for 2 fucking hours, can you let people know what it is you do on your channel?
I'm a counter-apologist. I love to do debate. I love to do shows that do analysis and things like that. I do occasional sessions called Room Rumbles, where I'll go into a room of the most amount of people that disagree with me possible and heartily disagree with all of them until a fun time is had by all. And it usually gets very rowdy and very breaking down, but occasionally I get really good conversations, which I actually like more when I have really good conversations with people about theology, about science, about just stuff in general, about where we are in the world and what we're doing. Morality is one of my subjects. I understood. I really understand, and I really enjoy talking about sort of what we ought to do and how we ought to live. So that's essentially what I do. I've got some debates coming up and some reviews coming up. I've got a review next Saturday night with the famous and amazing Dr. Tapioca Weasel, who will be coming on and we'll be discussing the Matt Delahunty and George Howard Stirrup debate. Howard George Stirrup, I always get those mixed up. Which was absolutely bafflingly crazy. It was a rage quit occurrence, which is unique. I
don't think it was rage, but I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I call it rage quit. It was more like
Matt quit.
I would have I honestly admire him for getting through as much of it as he did. I wouldn't have. Howard did the first opening. I probably would have jumped out halfway through that.
And honestly, that wouldn't for somebody in Matt's position. Arguably, that's what he should have done. Arguably, very, very arguably, it's not what he should have done, because he is very much about, if he says he's going to do a thing, he's going to do the thing.
Right.
I mean, he's a professional.
Someone of Matt's caliber
exactly
probably should have looked up who.
Yes, that's my issue. That's my issue. That's my issue with Matt. Is this is why his policy of never looking up the person he's debating, it backfires. He needs an assistant that does this, at least.
No, he trusted the person putting the debate together to give him someone of his caliber, and I think that trust.
The person putting the debate together was modern day. Are we live?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think they should.
No, somebody has a problem with that statement.
Look, I'm on Modern Day Debate a lot, and I do think they're a great platform. I do. They do some amazing debates. Him versus Hikachu, while frustrating.
Great.
Hikachu needs.
Hey, let us on, Maya. That's how we define great.
Well, look, they do these things, but that was a bad matchup. they've done bad matchups. It happens. Like, they probably thought, okay, Matt's going to tear him to pieces, or it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good idea. I think that they misunderstood
it's hard
how much
for them.
Matt.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, like, I can put up with nonsense because I kind of find it funny, but I don't want to debate Howard again. He cannot stick to the subject.
I've never debated. I was supposed to.
He can't stay on subject. He cannot.
No, for someone, you would be a good matchup. And I was the one that told him about the Vosh Jill.
Me and Howard.
Matchup.
No, I won't debate Howard. Howard won't stay on subject. He's
no, not you. Tapioca Weasel.
And Howard.
That would. He would love it though.
Yeah, his thought process is incoherent. The thing about
is very diplomatic.
The thing about but I'm really good at being diplomatic. It's what a lot of people on my side of all of these issues yell at me for. Mostly you, and sometimes Stephanie. And because I've spent a lot of time thinking about like physics and developing my physical intuition. And when you spend that amount of time thinking about something carefully and not carefully, all over in different situations over the years, there's really very few ways in which you can get something wrong that are going to come as a surprise to me. From personal experience, I'm really good at knowing how people are going to like screw up thinking about physics. Because I
hope I didn't screw up too much. I mean,
I'm talking about me and everybody.
Well, I mean, I try my best, but I'm very cognizant that I didn't do physics in high school. Everything that I've learned is just picked up along the way out of school. So I'm very cognizant of that I do pay attention if I do get things wrong. So thank you for all your sort of stuff that you pointed out today. I feel like I actually learned a lot. Oh, the other thing that I've got coming up, before I forget, is a debate against Hake on the Great Reset. Yeah.
I've not spoken with Hake, but I've seen Hake.
I had him on a debate, and oh god.
I don't think because the Great Reset
everyone
is supposed
that
to be
likes
a thing.
him.
It's just not the thing that everything.
See, this is what I have to deal with. I hate everyone that likes him. Well, you know what? I love me some flat earthers sometimes.
I don't think Hake's a flat earther.
Well, I analogize to whatever counts.
Oh, he's just sort of a is sort of more a garbage person the right word? Is that?
Sophomoric garbage. Sophomoric garbage I can deal with. Nazi, not okay.
I can't say Nazi, but if I found out Nazi, it would not surprise me.
You would not it's not that you would not see that coming.
Right. But I can't say Nazi. You know me.
Right.
I am really quick to say Nazi. There were Nazis in Bree's chat earlier. I'm just going to throw that out there. But we're not talking about that. All right. So you have Mark. You have a few. You have your own thing going on Saturday. You have a debate going on Modern Day
That's Friday night.
Friday. All right.
What time on Saturday are we doing? Are we doing the thing on Saturday?
9:30 p.m. 9:30 Eastern time.
Okay.
All right.
It's hilarious because neither me or Mark are in Eastern time.
Okay, well, what time zone are you in?
Pacific, but giving things in Eastern time is 100% a good standard way of doing things. I'm not saying you should change it. Eastern time is clear and it is the default. I grew up in Central time, so.
Okay.
But I live in like San Jose, California. I'm 3 hours behind. Pacific time is 1 hour behind Mountain Time, which is 1 hour behind Central Time, which is 1 hour behind Eastern Time. But all right, sorry, Maya. We let the end of the show drag out slowly, and
well, I was just getting the time.
Like 15 minutes. Like that
6:30 p.m.
impressive.
Pacific time. 6:30 p.m.
Fantastic.
All right.
So that should be fun.
So I do want to. There's like 25 people that stayed with us that entire rant. And I do appreciate you for coming to the Dr. Tapioca Weasel Meltdown stream. Featuring
Look, I want to thank you so much for having me on. It was actually a lot of fun, and I loved the bingo cards. Thank you so much, Dr. Tap. And, you know, we give shit, but, you know, there's a lot of love. I absolutely adore what you guys do, and I can't promote it enough.
Yeah, I would like to get him on his meds and have you back. But we're kind of booked through the year, so it'll have to be next year.
The whole bingo thing is like the way, one of like the ways that I want to try and contribute to the community. So I want to like give all of the people that I know, and maybe just like kind of everybody, the ability to like make their own games and all of that. We'll talk about it.
I'm gonna love the Kent Hovind bingo card. That's gonna be hilarious, kind of thing, like water and things like that. It's gonna be fantastic.
Water.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do Kent Hovind.
I would like to.
It should be a lot easier than Flat Earth, though. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's kind of, you know what, it's kind of a bit on par because Flat Earth is obviously more crap. Like it's just.
Thank you. Yes, it is. But people who think that they're the same thing, and I'm like, no, one's 100 times stupider than the other.
Yes, but they use the same arguments. They use very similar arguments, kind of thing, saying, "Oh, but scientists don't know this," and you know, all this. What this is the real science, kind of thing, and things like that are just identical. Yerfers and flurfers use very, very similar arguments. Just,
but they're less obvious.
Right. Flurf is absolutely much more bullshit than Yerf.
Yeah, I don't think it's close.
The evidence is overwhelming for old Earth, but it's so overwhelming for a globe Earth. It's ridiculous. So,
young Earth requires a complete misconception about what the laws of physics and whatnot and observations say about the past, whereas Flat Earth has a complete misconception about what all of observations say about the present.
And future.
And well, yes, but that's a triviality, as it were.
Yeah. If you're wrong about the present, you're going to be wrong about the future, sure.
Yeah. Yeks are wrong about the past, but not wrong to nearly the same extent as flurfs are about the present.
I would agree with that. But also, I want to thank our wonderful audience. So many amazing people in the audience. Just my favorite people ever.
By this time in the evening, they probably sustained too much psychic damage to even remember. So
look, and I want to say to Ember,
what year
who's
is
in the audience, and Ember, love you. I'm replacing you with 4 weasels in a trench coat. I admit this. Just for next week. 5. I'm sorry, I forgot the last one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Play like Gremlins. It's weird.
We do. I need to add another one. Actually, it's been a couple months since I've added one.
And that's
Gentlemen, this is a great question.
What's that?
I'm going with crazy since it was asked to me, but my conclusion
is crazy, imaginative, modal, ahead of the times. Look, I think I'm going to go with imaginative. I think he is overwhelmed by his own imagination, like he's in awe of his own ability to make up shit, and I think he's come to believe it. But I don't think necessarily crazy. I think crazy is a really weird word. I think everybody is on a spectrum of crazy. Like, and we just apply to people that sort of pass over that imaginary line that is crazier than most of us. So I think that imaginative is probably.
So I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Well, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Absolutely. but it's amazing how those two things go hand in hand, crazy and imaginative. How many artists turn out to be insane.
Doc, how do you weigh in?
¿Por qué no los dos?
I mean, there's like, what, 3 or 4 things here, though.
I'm not good at counting.
Cuatro?
¿Por qué no los cuatro? ¿Por qué no los tres?
Yeah, I was trying so hard to find a good Hollow Earth video for Mark because I don't think Doc Dino is still here, but he didn't know that it was a thing. And
it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but Doc Dino will be coming on, I'd say shortly, I can't even say within a month. I'm going to have to get it.
It's like, is he within a month? Like, I don't think he's scheduled that.
It'll be about a month. He'll be back on. And I think
Who do we have next week?
For it, because Jenna and Oz will be here next week.
Oh, Jenna and Oz. Love Jenna. Love
That's going to be fantastic.
It is.
That's going to be a really fun time. Jenna and Oz.
Well, I will come back, but I have a demand that we do spirit science on the next one that I come back on.
Okay.
You know what?
Okay.
Science, because it seems like I know we do a lot of low-hanging fruit, but it's kind of like fringe and spirit science. I'm like, well, I feel like Vosh has done spirit science, so I wasn't sure if Jordan was.
I could do Vosh.
I could do Jordan all day. Like, I could do just like this as a Jordan debunk.
I'm down for
Jordan
the record.
Sundays. Yeah, like, I could do that.
I watch Vosh, so I don't know what Vosh is doing. But
me neither. But people always say I look like Vosh.
Vosh did the same thing that
I've only seen him on Modern Day Debate.
Dapper has done that. I mean, just
where's
everybody.
Where's the spirit science modern day debate? Right? Where's the
that's a good. I don't think he's. I don't think he doesn't do adversarial interactions.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's low energy. So he wouldn't want to.
Yeah, it doesn't synchronize with the chakra energy of his attempts to harmonize.
It doesn't open your third eye enough.
Sacred geometry is non-resonant with it.
Look, you just can't.
Negative energy unbalances your chakras, and then you can't think and focus and be in tune with your higher self.
Right, man. Yeah,
exactly.
And if the suppressors come near the true believers, then just a
and then you get the energy blocks, and it's just all downhill from there. You might have negative karma.
Energy blocks. Do you hate energy blocks as much as me, Maya? When your energy, you're just trying to release, and that energy just won't. It's so frustrating. I think I've just.
Like sometimes that happens to me, and I just go to one of the hubs and knock that energy right out. But I don't know the extent to which Jordan does that. I heard that he has not been nice to at least one girl, and that made the rounds not too long ago, which makes me want to do a Jordan takedown stream even more. So
we should talk about that.
I will get you on the calendar. It will be 2024 though, but I'll put you in the first slot. We'll talk.
Yeah, sure. Oh, look, anytime. I'm more than happy to, but absolutely want to do spirit science. Just for the lols, because that is a lol cow. Let's face it.
Yeah, it's a lol cow. It's a lol cow on a level that, because it's a self-packaging lol cow.
Oh yeah.
Like, spirit science delivers a product that is already in its final form. You don't have to edit it. You don't have to do anything. It's all a pristine, nice thing of high quality and like good audio, good visuals that make you think that the eyes are like clearly of Satan, because I don't know who thought that it was okay to make those eyes the way they are. Sorry.
No, Bree and I do, gosh, it was like back in February or something, have a stream where we went over 2 spirit science videos. So if you need to get your Maya spirit science fix, Free is part of the package, which just it
without
enhances.
me, they've done it twice.
Twice without you. Once was a spirit science though.
Oh, I thought you did spirit science twice without me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that masculine energy can't really, kind of interfere.
Fair enough.
You've got to keep the masculine energy away from Jordan because he's all about that feminine, the feminine energy. Yeah,
the feminine
Martian masculine energy just ruins everything. Apparently, it destroys whole Atlantises.
Whole Atlantis. Well, the last thing I want is my Atlantis destroyed by masculine energy. That's the last thing that you'll want. Come on now.
All right. Mark, it has been a pleasure. I can't wait to have you back.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
And I hope everybody here joins us next week. We'll have Jenna and Oz promises that he will not hold back because he can't do it anymore. So should be interesting if nothing else. All right. And we'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you next week. Mark and Dr. Tapioca Weasel will see you next Saturday on Mark's channel. Right.
And also, I'll also see you next week on Sunday. So,
You've been thrown off the panel for your basic.
What am I, chopped liver?
All right, we're getting out of here. Bye.